Hey guys, TCB Melanie here, production manager for Mission Pro Wrestling and co-host of On a Mission Live for Mission Pro Wrestling. We're going to be starting a new series right here on the Mission Pro YouTube channel, Dining with Wrestlers. We're going to have some of their favorite foods, ask them some questions, have some chats and conversations. So, this week we will be talking with Madi Wrenkowski, Miss Reality herself, one half of the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. You guys submitted your questions. I'm going to ask them. So make sure you stay tuned for our new series right here on Mission Pro YouTube channel.
Are you ready? Let's get comfy.
You told me one of your favorite meals was Popeyes.
Yes.
So I went out. I got us a little bit of Popeyes. We're going to start off with spicy chicken sandwich. Ooh. Okay. Little red beans and rice. Yeah. Awesome. But I feel like one of your first promos that I know you from had to have one of these.
Yes, actually, that's the only. This is how you eat a Popeyes meal: spicy chicken sandwich, a biscuit, red beans and rice, and sweet tea.
So my only difference is I don't drink sweet tea, so I actually got mine unsweet.
That's disgusting.
It's
Are you
not.
from Texas?
I am actually a native of Texas, but I'm not.
What's your problem?
I'm not a fan.
Happiness and all things that is the South.
I'm just not a fan.
Are you sure? This one might be yours.
Is it not sweet enough?
No, it's fine. But
mine's not sweet at all. Mine's not sweet at all.
I'm usually side of diabetes with my sweet tea, but it's fine.
It's fine. Okay. Why Popeyes though? Of all the things, I mean, the chicken sandwich is fairly new though.
Yeah. So back in college,
because where all addictions start.
Yeah, they had on Tuesdays you can get a leg and a thigh for $1.49.
Been there, done that.
All through college it was Chicken Tuesday. It doesn't rhyme, but it makes sense.
It makes sense.
$1.49, you can't not do it.
And now with inflation, it's $1.39. No, $2.39. Sorry, $2.39.
She can't math.
I can't math. I'm in wrestling.
That's why.
So it's a $2.39 now. How is anybody? It? Yeah. Yeah. Chicken's expensive now, apparently.
Is it? I'm upset. I was upset when I found out that the Jack in the Box 2 for 99-cent tacos that I grew up on are $1.19 or something.
Yeah. They're not 2 for 99 cents anymore. All right.
It makes them less good.
You just peel it open? I feel like you just take a bite, but I guess you peel it.
I do, because I'm weird, because the top part is the best part. So you gotta save the best for last.
I thought you were trying to dip it or something, like an Oreo, like in the red beans and rice or something.
No, I like to choke on it so I can experience a near-death experience. So you got a little bit. And then
Wow.
That's why you have to have sweet tea with it.
It is a mouth-drying moment, but it is good.
Very dry, but it's very...
I thought we were going to dip it. I was ready to
you
dip it.
You can try that. I'll watch you.
You're going to watch me dip it? We'll dip it. Let's see. Because apparently they didn't give us utensils. We got to get utensils. Oh, look. We'll be fancy and use fancy utensils. All right, let's dip this. I think...
I'm not going to mix it first.
All right, we'll mix it. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to break the biscuit off into it. Oh. Yeah. That was good.
Not as dry?
No. Let's talk about the hand for a second. What happened? I think that's the big what happened on everybody's mind.
So I had a wrestling match on...
As you do as a wrestler.
Sometimes. On May something. I forgot. 21st, maybe?
Yeah. I'm opening your mind to new experiences.
I liked it better when I was choking. had a wrestling match. Apparently, wrestling is real. I'm not entirely sure what happened. It's all a blur now.
Yeah.
But I just felt my hand crunch. And I was like, shoot, I think I broke my hand. And the ref was like, are you okay? And I was like, I think I broke my hand. And he's like, do you want me to call it? It's like, so
As you do during a wrestling match.
Exactly. So I had to do whatever means I had to win.
Right, of course.
So me and Friday got to see a couple of my belts that night. But I won and then found out my hand was broken.
But did you really win in the end?
I did. And that's all that matters.
It's kind of 50-50 though.
Valid. In the long run, maybe not, but that night.
But that night, you were victorious.
Yes.
You fought me on Friday a couple of times though. She's an up-and-comer here in Texas.
Yeah, I think twice, maybe.
Yeah?
Maybe.
She's like 16 now? 17?
I don't like children wrestling, so we don't have to. It doesn't feel legal, you know?
Beating up on kids?
I'm using a child, literally a child. Literally.
Literally a child.
I know. And I asked at the beginning, I was like, yo, ref, did she get her permission slip signed? He's like, I don't know. And then I'm the one who got her.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's crazy.
When you're playing in the kids' playground, you gotta watch what you're doing.
I guess.
I guess.
Haven't really been around a child's playground.
Well,
I'm not sure what you do in your free time, but I
Right.
usually hang around kids' playgrounds.
I got 3 kids. I'm always around children's playgrounds.
That's valid.
I have an excuse.
Sure.
I'm not the weirdo.
Sure. In this instance.
In this
Overall,
instance.
maybe, yeah.
Oh, look, I'm crumbled a little biscuit in there. I'm that person. I'm digging it though.
The red beans and rice, or all of it together?
All of it together.
Red beans and rice is pretty hard to mess up. So, except if I try and make it, then I mess it up.
You're not a cook.
I'm trying.
Trying to be a cook. Can we boil water? What is the extent of our cooking experience?
Well, with my new air fryer, I'm great. And I also learned that if you marinate chicken,
Oh Lord.
it actually has flavor. And you don't have to douse it in ketchup and ranch.
Facts. That is facts.
I learned that thanks to my air fryer. You know.
You're the one that actually, do you read the instructions or no
On the air fryer?
on anything? But yeah, particularly an air fryer, if you can burn down
See,
your house.
I did, and then it was like preheat the air fryer, and I was like, how the F do you preheat this? There's not like a preheat button. So I don't understand the instructions, so then I just started like looking at random recipes and like just getting the time gauge. So.
Just going for
Everything gets cooked at 400.
it. Just at different times.
Yeah.
Sounds legit. I like
so.
it.
I eat it. I haven't died yet.
The house hasn't exploded. The
Not yet.
air fryer hasn't caught on fire.
Not yet. But see, the thing about the air fryer is I think it's good because it automatically turns itself off. Now I've like made cookies or like something or cooked on the stove, and then they'll be like, oh, is the stove still on? Did you turn the stove off? And I'm like, wait. I'm like, yeah, I did. And then I'll like run over there and they turn on.
Wow.
So the air fryer saves lives.
Saves your life.
Everyone's life. My dog's life. My cat's life.
I actually had a couple of questions.
Oh,
And when I say a couple, I had like 4 pages of questions that people sent in.
that's cute. What is that printed on?
It's printed on like paper, like photo paper, because I screenshot it and like,
Oh, you're a photographer?
yeah, and stuff. Okay, just, I don't know who sent this in, but just why? Just why?
I ask myself that question every day.
I feel like it, after your story with the air fryer, that one just seemed fitting.
For the first,
For the first one, just why?
I would concur.
I do like this one though. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Me and my cousin do a great rendition of Total Eclipse of the Heart, but the Glee version.
The Glee version. Do they usually have that at karaoke bars, or you just do
No,
it?
but I just do it. The real version has like way too many words to memorize and stuff. The Glee version's pretty short and simple.
You just
Straight
stop.
to the point, basically.
You just stop in the middle of the song, like, oh, we're done, guys. Thank you.
That was it. Oh, the machine broke.
Fair enough. I like it. It's very specific, though.
It's because we grew up watching Glee, so it's just so great. I was thinking I'm gonna pull it out at her wedding. Just gonna like find a random microphone and start singing and see if she responds.
I like it.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to film that. Please.
We'll work on it.
I do like this one though. We've talked about it before though, but like, how did a volcano inspire you to become a professional wrestler?
Because it erupted.
Because it erupted. There you go. End of story.
Yeah, it basically took away that job option. So I was like, it's fate. And then found wrestling.
And found wrestling. And then
hybrid.
Yeah, you found hybrid. Did you find it hard though? I mean, you like walking into the school and you're one of the, at the time, I think we were like, what, one of 2 or 3 girls at the time?
There was only one other girl.
Yeah.
I was terrified. All my life I did sports and girls are like the cattiest, the worst. So I was like, if it's just dudes, like that'll suck because I won't have like anyone to actually train with.
Right.
I was at a jiu-jitsu gym a little bit before then, and it was only dudes, and like a girl would show up every once in a while, but even then she didn't want to like do anything.
Yeah.
So I was used to like manhandling dudes, which isn't bad, but they always have like egos, and that was the worst part, especially in jiu-jitsu, because they would always try and like overpower me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna stay like this until you get tired. I'm gonna choke you out. But there was one girl, pleasantly surprised. She was super nice. I think it was because she was so young. Got her at a good time in her life.
And she put up with you?
Yeah, exactly. She was super nice. I was not expecting it. It took me aback. So it was nice. I think after that, every girl since that has come in has had to deal with me being like the bitch. So
Facts.
it balances out.
I like it. All right, I'm just going to check the camera real quick. I'll let JP edit this part. Thanks, JP.
Carla?
No. JP editor. So Thunder has Tony the editor. We have JP the editor.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Not JPR.
Not JP Harlow.
I was like, wow, that's nice of him.
No, not that guy. So you went into the school. You're one of 2 girls at the school. But for the most part, your experience ended up being positive after how many weeks did you finally start getting comfortable?
So it wasn't even really like a matter of weeks.
No?
From the first day I went in there and I talked to Marvel, he kind of has that same sarcastic level as me.
Facts.
So that like automatically made me feel comfortable because I'd reached out to a couple other schools here in Texas and they just were not as like friendly.
Receptive to the Maddie.
Friendly. So I was just kind of like, okay. And then I found him. That was fine. I believe like a little bit less than a month, but the first couple weeks I was doing cardio to make sure I was like ready. But like, I was like faster than everyone. I was like, that's good. And so it was super easy to get comfortable because I was just like killing all of them and all these cardio exercises. Very competitive.
Well, I think if you're an athlete all your life, you've got to have some kind of a competitive edge, or you try to.
Yeah, but I'm also like a sore loser. So like I'm very competitive until I know that I'm going to lose, and then if I know I'm going to lose, I'll just be a sore loser, because then I'll be like just trying to make you mad, even though you're going to win.
They're gonna win, but they're not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Though.
So but yeah, so it was pretty instant being in that environment, being comfortable.
You know, you talked about it before with your brother, who likes to give me a hard time too.
We'll be doing that.
But was that the way he was? Like, he had to be one of your biggest supporters when you started.
Yeah, and still is. He is the designer, inspo behind all my gear. That comes out, so I don't do anything. We have a team of volunteers.
A team of volunteers. I love that.
Not employees. They don't get paid.
They do it out of the kindness of their hearts.
and their blood, because we are.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, super big supporter. Was from the start, still is now. Every day he'll like send me on like each platform different stuff, either wrestling related or like, oh, you should try this move out, or things like that. I think he was pretty stoked when I got into it. He watched a lot growing up, but then when he was getting a little bit older, he started watching more like branching off from just WWE, which is what he started on. So he has like the DVDs of like Shine with like Jazz and whatnot. So that was kind of cool to see. Just
because you got to train with her, you know, whatever.
No big deal.
You know, big deal. Your first match is with her.
My first massacre. I think is what you meant to call that. Look how crispy this is.
That's a huge sandwich.
Look how crispy it is.
I don't think I've ever had a Popeye's chicken sandwich before, actually. This thing is kind of massive. Yikes. It's a giant sandwich.
You disappoint me more and more in different ways each day. More and more.
Apparently. I will say this. The top is still a little bit dry, but it's like butterier.
Exactly. That's why you gotta save it for last.
Well, I'm digging it.
I'm telling you, this is how you eat your meal.
It's like my little Mexican part coming out. I realized I'm like using my bread to
dip.
scoop.
I guess that works.
Mm-hmm.
You've never had Popeyes like that before?
I don't think so. I've never, you know. But this is a ginormous sandwich. Like, holy moly. It's like the size of your face.
Not quite. But it's pretty large.
It's pretty big though. Come on now.
And it has like the crunch that like Chick-fil-A lacks.
Mm-hmm.
And like
I wish we had another microphone so you could hear the crunchiness.
We'll just put this like
Fake it in post, JP.
I went and I had the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich for the first time the other day.
Yeah.
And was heavily disappointed. It's
Yeah.
like spicy, but it's like white people spicy, where it's just like spicy. It's like, wow, this is really hot. But like this one's kind of like, wow, it's spicy, but it has like flavor.
Yeah.
And
I
so
was kind of like
very
disappointed in
upset.
that one too. I remember that, and I was like, "Oh, look at this tiny piece of lettuce and this sad little tomato." Because I was like, "I'll spring the extra for the deluxe." I don't know why I did that.
I don't know why you did that either.
I felt like throwing money around. I was like, "I got $2 extra lying around."
You do be like that.
I was like, "I can splurge on some lettuce and tomato."
I normally splurge and get like a large fry instead.
Although I will say this, the fries at Chick-fil-A are the best with the honey mustard.
I usually use Chick-fil-A sauce.
Not a fan. But I can tear
Get
up
out
some.
of here.
I can tear up some cane sauce though.
That I can as well.
that sauce, just bottle it up. That one, bottle it up.
Their sweet tea is diabetic. Like, no lie. I'm pretty sure they just like dumped sugar in there.
That's probably another reason why I don't drink it.
Why not? We're all gonna die anyways.
Not a sweet tea. Not
Why
me. What a way to go.
Sounds like it.
So you're saying your brother helps you design your gear. So the Spice Girls inspired gear, was that his idea or yours?
So that was his,
Okay.
but it was like the first match I ever had.
Yeah.
They were like, "What do you want to come out to?" And I was like, "The Spice Girls," just because I literally like grew up listening to them. My oldest sibling is 10 years older than me, so like that's what she was listening to. We were all like, "Oh, you're gonna be this one and this one," and so just like having that kind of when I was growing up, it was a nice little homage. I learned how to say that word, homage.
I like it.
Thank you.
And she used it properly.
To it. So he was like, okay, well, you used it as your entrance music for a little while, and it's still at the beginning of my entrance music with that laugh. So it was just something to kind of throw back to the beginning of my career. Short career, but still.
So you're one of your gears kind of pays homage to Sporty. The other one is Jerry. Which one were you the most though? Or which one do you lean more towards?
So back in my day when we would act out the roles, I was Posh Spice because I was everyone's like favorite. Of course. But like obviously I feel like nowadays, or even when I was younger, I was probably more related or relatable to Sporty Spice. Just because I was a little tomboy. Definitely was not dressing up or anything like that when I was young. My mom had me and my sister in like matching sweatsuits and
that's awesome.
White like old man New Balances.
Oh, we're definitely gonna need those pictures. We're calling Mama Reality, and we're getting some pictures of Maddie in her like mafia wear.
We had little windbreakers. They're cute.
I like it.
Yeah.
We actually had somebody ask you a question. They want to know Spice Girls or Kardashians?
Probably the Spice Girls because their movie was just
that movie was the best,
life changing. I was terrified to go to the bathroom for a couple weeks. I didn't want that man to come out of the toilet. And then the alien scene, that was really scary. It traumatized me.
That movie is the best. I love it. Rest in peace, Meatloaf. Love you. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I guess this question could be taken a couple different ways. When did you decide to give pro wrestling a legit shot? I mean, you can train and you can have your first match, but it doesn't mean you're really going to give it a shot, right? I mean, I feel like, oh no.
I took a bite too big. It took me a minute.
I thought you were like scared of the question. You're like, oh my God.
Ugh. Chills. No. When did I give it a shot?
Or was it like the moment you started training, you're like, no, let's do this if we're going to do it?
I mean, I feel like that's like when I took the most initiative.
Right.
But I think I give it a shot each and every time I step in that ring. No. But I think probably right around the time like I actually got in the ring, like having to unlearn everything about like being a normal human being, like falling and not catching yourself and going in there like knowing you're gonna get your butt kicked.
Right.
Like normal humans don't do that. So I think once I like started going through that and learning actually like how to wrestle in the ring, it's a lot more mentally tough. And I think at that point that's when you have to be like, okay, like if you actually want to do this, like you got to do it, because it's not like you can obviously go back at any time, but like this is like the point where you're like, okay, do I like it or not? Okay, I do, so let's try it.
Do you find that when you've seen a lot of people come and go through hybrid, through training and stuff like that, and other places you train, but do you find that you see a lot of people make that decision once they take that first bump, you're like, oh man, is this something for me?
I think we do see a lot of people that leave within the first month or so, because I don't think people realize how taxing wrestling actually is on your body. Clearly. Clearly. What other injuries do I have? Clearly. We see a lot of people leave kind of around that same time. They just don't realize like how much it actually hurts to bump, to actually hit the ropes, which is something that's so minuscule. But it hurts. And it's just like anything else, your body has to get accustomed to it, and not everyone can make it through that.
This is very crunchy.
I told you. People need to listen to me more often. And then you get the pickle, and then it's like, ooh.
There's a pickle in here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look.
Spread it out. Don't show them that. It's so beautiful.
The chicken is actually
pickle.
Chicken's actually very pretty.
Right? And it's like not even just crust. It's like literally chicken with a crunch on the outside.
It's actually pretty good. It's legit. I see that too. I think there's a lot of people, you take that first bump or you take that first hit and you realize what's going on. But is that Is that a good thing to just like it helps eliminate the people who are
Hell
not
yeah.
chilly?
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's a lot of people who don't need to be in the business.
Yeah.
And I think that it is good that that's like the first weed out process. We need to have like a second one, and then like a second checkpoint a little bit further. Like, oh, you don't like being hit?
That's not the cardio version? That's not the cardio?
The cardio knocks out a lot. But the bumping knocks out like a second half, but then like the actual like match style like hits and stuff. Like there's people who be like, yo man, you really hit me hard. And I'm like,
It's wrestling.
I did. You're right. What did you want me to do?
When you started training with Thunder and you got that first call up saying you're going to AEW, was it anything guaranteed or you were just going?
We were just going. We basically emailed QT Marshall.
Yeah.
Marshall. And we were like, hey. And basically we were just going to be a part of the crowd.
Right.
Because at that point there was no crowd. We weren't guaranteed a match, nothing at all. We weren't even like guaranteed training, but we got there and they were like, oh hey, you can come to these training sessions. And so we got to do that, which was kind of crazy to get in there with Dustin and like, holy shit, that's gold dust. But,
Well, we got the
we
gold
don't
dust.
say
Okay.
that. Holy shit, that's
Yeah, exactly.
Justin Rhodes. But, because like we used to watch him all the time growing up. We had him as like an action figure and everything. But it was crazy and it was a little bit surreal. And then when the infamous board came up and like our names were on it, I was like, what? I knew it was a possibility, but I didn't think it was going to happen. Because like they had us take photos just in case.
Right.
And like the photo setup was literally like right in front of catering, so it was extremely uncomfortable. So that was awful.
Is that the infamous laughing picture?
Yes, because I'm awkward. And then you put a camera in front of me, I'm even more awkward. And then you put me on a thing in front of a camera, in front of everyone else. And then I'm like,
Forget it.
way awkward.
We get the awkward laughing
Yeah, and
doubled
then
over.
they were like, put like fighting pose, like act like you're gonna punch someone. I was like, no one's gonna be scared of this. What else can we do? Next pose.
Do you find that each time you head over to AEW it gets easier or less nerve-wracking, or is it same level?
I think it's about the same. The first time I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew I was going to be on a bigger platform, so that was scary. But like each time after, it's always scary because I've wrestled a lot of the women that were like there when I started. Of course, there's a lot of new ones now.
Right.
But you almost have like an expectation to uphold, and like a little bit, I think of like a reputation that you kind of know what you're doing.
Do you know what you're doing?
Not usually, but I fake it pretty well.
You can fake it. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
That's what they say. It's a little bit higher stakes, I feel like, because each time you're like, okay, all these people are getting signed. Like, maybe now's my time. And then you're like, psych. I'm like, cool. Yeah. Let's go eat my feelings. But
We're eating our feelings.
yeah. Hand trauma. But yeah, it's always like nerve-wracking because obviously you never know like what everyone else thinks of you. Not that it matters, but it entirely does.
Of course.
In that kind of setting.
Of course.
Those people are deciding your future basically. So, but it's nice. Like my last match with Sheeta, unfortunately, my time wasn't as long as I would have liked to have been in that ring. But she's just a very nice person. She was like talking to me about stuff that I had done in the past, and so it was cool to see like someone who's at what I feel is a high caliber, like know who I am and know what kind of work that I do, and kind of my signatures, finishers, things like that. So it's great.
I like that. I think it also shows that people put work into who they're fighting as well, even if they're not signed to the roster. You know, you're paying attention.
Yeah.
And then you got picked up by NWA as well. How did that call go?
So it was actually an email.
How did that email go?
I don't remember if I reached out or if they reached out. I feel like it may have been a little bit of both. I was actually supposed to go last year and scheduled and everything, about to, like, they were sending me flights and whatnot, and then I broke my nose. But I had to message Pat Kenny and I was like, hey man, this whole like wrestling thing. And so it was kind of like a deja vu, I guess, because again, they were doing their show, I think July or June 11th, and then some tapings after.
Right.
And it was the same thing. I was like, I called Pat Kenny and I was like, hey man. So about these tapings, kind of broke my hand, so can't fly out.
But you're like, if you put a skin-colored glove,
Like, we'll just like use it as a club, all wrapped around, maybe get some barbed wire.
Yeah.
Death mattress.
It's a new gimmick. It's
Yeah,
a new
I
Maddie.
should. Yeah, exactly. It's like Mankind's Mr. Sacco, but
Yeah. The
not as
chubbier
mobile.
version.
Yeah, that's about as much as I could move my fingers.
It's cool, like.
Yeah, I've been like, I haven't started physical therapy yet, but I imagine like when I do, I'm gonna like start working that.
Just to get the promos going.
Exactly.
Just to work on the promo.
So it's a work in progress, but these are the two that broke. So they have, they went in through my knuckles and put like metal rods in there. Yeah, I was like, hey man, you just slip some adamantium in there. And he's like, that's not real. And I was like, okay, doctor. It's like, they're titanium. I'm like, okay, doctor.
You're like, sure, whatever. And if they like retract it.
Do it, doctor.
Do it.
Okay. Not real. I know you know where to buy the good stuff.
You're like, come on, doc, just a little bit, just a little bit.
I know they pay you the good bucks.
They give you the good stuff.
Bill it to my insurance.
That's a big bill.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, you've also done extra work for like WWE. I mean, you've done like the trifecta.
Yeah, I just need to do Impact now.
I know.
Well, I kind of have, but like it wasn't, but it was, but it wasn't.
That's right. You've done it with, you've done like the manager position when they came and they did right? You were the manager for, come on. Oh my God. We have to find the clip and like, hopefully we can add it. I wish we can. Because you were mean.
Yeah.
It was like the Bash at the Brew or something like that.
It was. I was on the pre-show, which was like local talent, and then I was on the actual show as well. I can't remember the guy's name, but I remember he went against Fallah Bah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Because you did an axe kick.
To Fallah Bah. He got reality checked.
He did. He got reality checked. I remember that. Because, man, you got booed.
I know, it was great. There was this one like really, really drunk woman. She like came like up to the guardrail and like got in my face, and I was like, oh my God. I was like the first time anyone has ever done that. And I was like, are we fighting now? Like, is this fine? Okay. Walk away. Got it.
Is that the worst you've ever taken from a fan?
Maybe. I mean, that's like the most intense I've ever seen someone's face. But she's also like way gone.
I mean, it was Bash at the Brew. It was a brewery.
She was gone. I mean, children, they get very mad.
They
That's
do.
Great. Oh my God. On the 21st, I met the WWE sign guy.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a fan. But yeah, I was.
Wow.
Can't win them all. But I was a little starstruck, but I had to keep it in. It's like,
wow. Somebody wasn't a fan.
yeah, it's weird, right?
It's very weird. I feel like, especially at Mission Pro, you have one of the biggest lines when it comes to like the merchandise and stuff like that.
It's because I'm really just slow at getting
You're like, I need to do the math.
1, 2.
Well, now that you're down a hand, you're really going to need some help.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use my toes. Just kidding. We charge for the Just haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm not ready for that.
No.
But I keep the requests in my box
Just in
I
case.
need it. Like,
Just in case the
like
bills,
this.
yeah. The bills start piling up, something else breaks.
Gotta sell some new pics.
When you first started making merchandise, you had your t-shirts and you had 8x10s and stuff like that. Were you like, God, I hope this sells, or I know this is gonna sell?
I did not know. For the longest time, I wasn't selling anything.
Yeah.
And every show, Jazz and Ronnie Mac would be like, "Where's your merch? Where's your merch?" I'm like, "No one's gonna buy that. Like, that's uncomfortable. You want me to sell a picture of myself?" And then they'd be like, "Just start off with 8x10s." And I was like, "Okay." So I printed some off, and people were buying them. I was like, "Wow, this is really uncomfortable." People are buying things with my face on them. Like, what is this? And then they want my signature. I write like a third grader. Like, wait,
It's
you
true.
want me to spell your name out? Oh, crap.
You're like, wait, but it takes like 5 minutes to write my name.
For real. And then, like, I was looking at all the other people who were, like, signing 8x10s, and they would, like, write a cute message.
No.
It's so hard. So now a lot of people do have my ugly handwriting still. I do remember, though, the first Mission Pro show ever at Pinballs.
Yep.
I think it was like Genesis or something.
Yep.
They had me signing posters, and it was like my first time ever. And on the first poster, I signed like my entire like name, like my name, and I was like, scratch out. Whoops.
So now whoever has that poster, you have a collector's item.
Yes, you do. I was like,
Frame it, put it up.
my bad.
I love that somebody has a poster out there though with a big old scratch mark in it. I'm like, who like messed up on their name?
Well, it doesn't help that like even at like the PPW shows, Chris Cruz always signs all over my face. You know,
That is true.
that's the moneymaker of the entire show. Why would he do that?
Why do you do that? It's a question we're gonna ask.
The first time we did it, let me just talk about my phone.
Do it. Why not?
The first time he did it, though, I posted it on Twitter, and people were mad at him about it. It was
I
great.
saw that.
It was awesome. I was like, man, I don't even have to rip him. Like, these people are doing it for me.
I feel like there's some serious people on social media, but most of them seem to be on Twitter. Like they're really like, when they can compound something and just keep like dogpiling on something, they can and they do. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very entertained as of late with Amber Heard.
Oh Lord.
But TikTok, I feel like, is ripping her to shreds. It's
Yeah.
great.
What is it? Okay, speaking of TikTok, what is okay, so when you open my TikTok, there's two very specific videos that will come up. One is always little Mexican ladies cooking in like gorgeous pots and something I will never do, like outside on open flames. I probably will never do that. But I aspire to where those little Mexican ladies are. And then the other one is just straight up bad for me food that I want to make.
So you're like on cooking TikTok.
It's all cooking. What is when you open it up, what is all yours? Well, mine is like cooking and wrestling, I want to say. Wrestling with unicorns. Keeps me entertained.
What is mine? Mine's weird. Mine's really weird. I think the main one that pops up, there's this dude, I think his name is Gray Swirl or something like that. His videos are so weird. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a lot of like skits that I think are funny, but a lot of people don't. They're like, ha. I'll like send them to people and they're like, did you send this to the wrong person? It's like, oh yeah, my bad. But speaking of Chris Cruz, he sends me like 100 TikToks a day. Just like, I think he just watches them and like send.
He needs to send them to somebody. He's like, oh, she'll appreciate this.
Yeah, so it's normally that, as of late, a lot of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard TikToks.
Oh God.
People like reenacting it. See, it's just reenacting. And then, let's see, There is one guy who like cooks in the outdoors.
Oh, addicted to him.
Yeah, I don't even understand how or why he does that.
I don't, but he's like making bread like in like in snow and stuff. I'm like, why? But I don't care. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like dog and cat.
Yeah.
Which I send you some. Yeah, I am guilty of sending you some TikToks.
I do. Jesus Rodriguez is also very guilty of sending me a lot of TikToks. I'm like, where do you even find this stuff? I don't even know how he finds some of this stuff. I'm like, why?
Yeah. I feel like that's me, because like I'll just get engulfed in like what used to be like a YouTube wormhole is now like a TikTok
Yeah,
wormhole.
same.
And like I'll be swiping and they'll have like, whoa, you've been scrolling for a long time. I'm like,
Like, leave me alone. You don't know my life.
Mom. You're not my dad.
You don't know my life, TikTok.
And so I'm the one who is also like bombarding people with a lot of TikToks.
I'm okay with that though, because I get stuck down my food wormholes, and so I'm like, oh,
Need
this.
some variety.
I do. I'm like, please distract me with like a
Yeah.
guy building an ark, which somebody sent me.
That's impressive. Do you ever watch those YouTube videos of those two guys in like some country and they build like all this cool stuff from like dirt and like
No,
I'll have to show you it. I found it on YouTube.
she'll send it to me too.
I will. They have a whole channel and they build like elaborate like stuff with like mud and like bamboo.
What?
It's crazy.
My wormhole on YouTube lately. I'm sorry, Emily and Thunder, if you're on the Mission Pro YouTube, because I've actually accidentally been using Mission Pro YouTube. Is Korean food videos, like those street vendors where they show you how they start cooking from the day and they start serving. Yeah, that's my YouTube wormhole. They're like opening up the shop and they start turning on the heaters and fryers.
You got a lot of time on your hands.
I'm a photographer. I edit, and I need something to distract me while I'm editing.
So that's what my photos look like.
That's why. That's why you have like a little bowl of like noodles.
Little steam.